as defined by USDA dietary guidance, is a major source of calcium and includes milk, cheese, yogurt, lactose-free milk, and fortified soy milk. The Dietary Guidelines for Americans from 2020 to 2025 recommended individuals 2 years old and older should consume 2 or 3 cups of dairy per day, depending on age and calorie level of dietary pattern. I'm Sabrina Halverson for the Southeast AgNet.
Unbeatable prices and events are popping up everywhere at Rural King, like an antique steel fire pit for just $49.98, or your choice of 27-foot tie-down ratchet straps, just $7.99 a piece. And don't miss taking a spin on the baddest mowers at our Lawn Mower Rodeo, Saturday, June 18th from 10 till 2. Must be 16 or older to ride. Shop now at ruralking.com or your neighborhood Rural King, America's farm and home store.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be partly sunny with a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. High today 90 to 92, then mainly clear tonight, low 74 to 76. Wednesday will be mostly sunny with a thunderstorm in the afternoon. High tomorrow 90 to 93. And we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine Thursday with a thunderstorm in 1 or 2 spots and a high of 90 to 94. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
This hour of Ocala Talks is brought to you in part by Blockers Furniture. Go see all their specials at blockersfurniture.com.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
That's right. It's time for Auto Repair with Personal Care from Sunrise Auto. Matt Gibbs, the proprietor of Sunrise Auto, is in the building. Matt, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired of politics. Oh, no, we're talking about something totally different.
I ain't got time to look at politics right now.
You're understaffed and overworked, or overstaffed and underworked. What's
yeah,
good staff, overworked?
Yeah, it's all the above. It's just, I'm just like everybody else. You know, it's like I need a technician.
You need 28 hours in a day is what you need.
Well, more than that. We've one service advisor. He was talking to me yesterday. He's got like 70 labor hours already okayed. So that's like a whole week's worth of work just from one guy. I mean, it's just. I'm looking for technicians.
You are hiring?
I'm hiring. So if you're a technician and you want to work from Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, no weekends off. Yeah, yep.
Holidays?
All the major
4th
holidays,
of July,
4th of July,
Thanksgiving, Christmas,
yeah,
New Year's.
Yeah, we get all those days off. Any day I don't want to work that I don't.
Flag Day.
No, we work on Flag Day. We actually fly the flag on Flag Day.
That's today.
Uh-oh. I forgot.
Better go get the flag out.
I got it at the shop.
Better get the flag out. Today's Flag Day, July 14th.
Yes, it is.
June 14th, excuse me.
That's right. It is.
July 14th is Flag Day or Independence Day in France. Their national flag should be a guy with 2 hands up saying, "I give." But anyway, I stole that from Jonathan Winters. That was his joke. But so you're right now with a technician down. If you're looking for a technician, I bet y'all are.
Well,
jammed
we're not a technician down. We just need to add another technician.
Oh, you need to add another. Business is so good, you got to add. So you're doing your best to help employment in Marion County.
I am trying. Yeah. I am trying my very, very best.
Are you getting anything out of Joey though? That's the question.
Yeah. Well, last week he kind of. I can't say that bad. He was at a camp. He was a camp counselor last week for children that are in the foster care system.
Right.
So when he does stuff
good
like
kids
that,
you got there.
Yeah, he's a good kid. I got a lot of good kids.
Unlike you, he's a good kid.
Yeah, unlike me. He got that from his mama.
That's really a good thing to do, though, to go help underprivileged kids and foster care kids. I spent an extensive amount of my time in my life between 11 and 17 in the foster care system. They need all the good role models and support they can get. Believe me.
Yeah, when Joey comes rolling into the room, he kind of has something that they can't sit there and say you have all this,
Right. Yeah.
So he gets to minister and talk to these guys from a different perspective.
Yeah, because they can't say you have all these privileges that I don't have.
Right, exactly.
Joey lost a major privilege that
Yeah.
most of us have.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but that's when I go talk to foster kids and everything. I have a believability because I say, I slept in a foster home where rats ran across my body while I was in the bed.
Right.
I know about seeing chains with locks on the refrigerators.
Right.
These are real issues in foster homes.
Right.
People don't realize that. These are, I know what it's like to get, have two older foster brothers that are trying to beat you up at night because they want to take whatever food you have, and the foster mom's not looking because she didn't work with foster parents. As long as they get that check every month in the mail, that's all they're worried about. And so kids, when they hear me talk like that, they go, "Oh, he actually knows what we're going
Right,
through."
you've been there and done that.
Because I have been there and
Right.
done that. So you got to have a little bit of believability. That's why you're a good mechanic, because you've made all the mistakes, you've learned all the ways to do things. People say Matt's got a little believability to it.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. So right now, with the market going the way it is, and with the economy going the way it is, are you seeing people are trying to, through mechanics and through your shop and all, trying to extend the lives of their car instead of an influx of new cars?
And because what's happened is the prices of used cars have gone up so much, so now they're looking at it saying, well, me and you will probably have this conversation come Monday. We're going to sit down and look at the situation that you're in with your car. And so what we're going to look at is what does it cost to replace a car today? I'll give you a perfect example. I have a Jeep Liberty down at the shop right now that a year ago, this would not be a practical thing to do to fix this Jeep. It wouldn't be practical because the Jeep wouldn't be worth what it costs to fix it. But today, with the way that, so if they don't fix it, that means they're going to have to get another vehicle. And it just turns out that it's better for them to fix this vehicle than it is to buy one on a used one.
And that's the thing. You got to look at the economics of it. And
exactly
what works out math-wise.
Right.
It's now become, with the economy the way it is, it's really become a math problem.
So we have a 2000 Honda Accord down at the shop that needs an engine, a 2000.
Right.
It's 22 years old.
Right.
It's going to cost $4,200 to put a used engine in it because the cost of everything.
But to replace it would probably cost more than $4,200.
But the guy's like, that's my car. I understand. I know that car. And for $4,200, I keep my car. What can I get for $4,200? You're not buying a whole lot for $4,200 now.
You're really not. You put that's the big down payment with the way the economy's going.
Exactly. So we just got to look at the big picture here.
Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto.
Yes. Is this? I'm on air. I can't tell.
You are on air. You are on air.
Okay. I since I can't buy a cheap car, about a year and a half ago, I had an odd car sitting around here as a backup car. I had an 01 Volvo S60, and I did a little work on it, and I drove that thing all the way to Ashland, Kentucky from Ocala, and I said if it breaks down, I'm going to pull it off, junk it, and take a Greyhound bus back home. But it drove. I drove it night and day all the way to Kentucky. Used about a half a quart of oil all the way up, and anyway, I gave it to my son, and I'm Delbert. I was looking for an old used car, an older car. So what we've decided to do, he blew the engine in it,
right.
And so I found a gentleman in Kentucky. They have a lot of chop shops up there, and I found a man. Up there that had the exact car. He said, I have an 01 Volvo S60 Turbo. Just like that. He said, I'll tell you what I can do. He said, for $1,500, I'll take the engine out of that one, and put it in his car, and we'll see if it works. So I don't know now. That's probably not a bad deal considering he needs transportation of some kind, and we can't find anything else. Does that make sense to you or
Yes,
not?
sir.
I
That
don't
makes
know. I mean,
that makes sense to me.
Makes
I
100%
found-
sense.
I-
to me.
As long as nobody goes to jail over this deal, I think it'd be a good deal.
Well, you never know. He said that was his car for the longest time. He had that same car, but someone stole the relay out of it. He said that's worth money, and he said I can just take the relay out of your son's car and put the engine in. I guess you can do that. You know, he said all it needed was a relay. Does that make sense? I don't even know what a relay is,
Well,
but I think it has something to do.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but
And he said he could put it in. He said he would fix the. I told him to look at a few other things, and so I asked him. This was Friday, and I asked him can you do it? He said by next Wednesday I'll have it done. I don't know if that's pretty quick. He couldn't understand. That was so he said Friday. So I hope we can't find a used car. I'm Delbert. I'm the one looking
for the used car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Delbert.
We just,
sounds like you found a
$1,500.
Sound like you found a $1,500 solution to the issue.
If you'll stick by that, I told him to look at the air condition. He said he would. I said, look at the catalytic converter because I think it's probably needs one. He said, I'll take the one off of that one, put it in there. So we might get the car's not worth much more than $1,500, maybe $2,000, right? If it's worth running, I don't know. So I'm hoping that we'll get the job done because he's been walking for 2 months and he can't,
Well,
maybe he'll change the oil in this every now and then. You're right.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah.
Thanks
well, thank you. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate you.
Thanks for the call, Delbert. You remember he wanted the car last week, $4,000 or $5,000. Sounds like a good solution here.
Yeah.
Volvo. By the way, those Volvos back then, tanks.
Yep.
I mean,
Good safety rating.
Ooh.
And they better when they don't run. It's way safer.
Way safer when they don't run. Way safer. The ugliest car I ever got in an automobile accident or something when I was with Lisa Thomas. We were 18 years old, seniors in high school. And she had one of her mama and daddy, because they were wealthy. Her mama and daddy had one of those old, diesel Mercedes, that they would use in the 80s movies. The Russian guys would always drive the bad guys. And we were sitting at the corner of Chambly Dunwoody Road and Peachtree Industrial. And I seen this Honda coming up behind us, and it wasn't stopping. And it must have been doing 45, 50 miles an hour. And it hit us in the rear end of that thing. And I said, Lisa, press the brakes. She slammed on the brakes. That car hit us. That Mercedes might have moved half a foot. That Honda shoved that motor through the firewall, pinned the lady in and everything. The police got there and everything. They checked out, got her out, extracted her out of the car and everything. Looked, everybody okay? Yeah, we're fine. Car run, sure. We drove off on that Mercedes. Wasn't nothing wrong with that Mercedes. That big old tank had taken that shot with no problem. Those big old diesel Mercedes back then.
Those were actually good old. Those were good old.
You could have put a gun turret on it, and that was a battleship.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Delbert found a good answer to his problem.
Yeah. Yep.
And by the way, a math problem. $1,500 better option than $4,000 to $5,000.
A little bit.
Yeah. I like this comment. A lot of chop shops up there.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, chop shops are not a good thing.
That's what I'm saying. As long as no one goes to jail by putting a motor in a car.
Well, you know what? Up in certain areas of Kentucky, the police may own the chop shop. That may be their primary business. Policing is the side business. I lived in that area in North Carolina. It's a lot like that area of Kentucky. Sometimes the police, that's their secondary job.
That's it. Okay. I got you.
So I knew a guy up in North Carolina. He was police, lieutenant with the Watauga County Sheriff's Department. Made the best liquor you'd ever drink in your life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that like the bootlegging thing up there?
Made the best liquor you'd ever drink in your life, and he was a lieutenant with the Watauga County Sheriff's Department. I go, isn't this illegal? He goes, only if I sell it to people. That's how the law's written. The only reason it's illegal, the only reason liquor's illegal is because you're not paying taxes on it. So he didn't sell it. Nobody gave it away. Perfectly fine.
It's
good liquor too.
We used to have a peanut man to come around, and the peanut man had peanuts and moonshine.
A staple of any diet, moonshine and peanuts.
And when at the Cadillac store, when I worked at the Cadillac store, it was $40 for a gallon, $20 for a half gallon.
and the half gallon was the peanuts, the gallon was moonshine. So I have to ask you a question. I was instructed to ask a question.
Okay.
For my lovely wife.
Okay.
She said, usually I ask Carol Ann Baldwin, but this morning I got a Matt Gibbs question.
All right. Lay it on me.
She says she wants you to explain the difference between leaded and unleaded gasoline and why we now have unleaded instead of leaded gasoline.
Why we have.
And would leaded gasoline hurt a car if you put leaded gasoline in a car now, would it damage a car?
No.
Because what's the difference? First off, she wanted to know what the difference between leaded and unleaded was. I go, one's got lead in it, one doesn't. She goes, okay, smart guy. Why technically?
She didn't say smart guy either.
She did in that sarcastic tone.
Okay.
Okay, smart guy.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't. She was saying I was smart. She was saying I was smart.
I know.
I was a smart rear end.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
So it's lead. So back in the day, I mean,
that's what led cars to knock and everything, wasn't it? Leaded gasoline.
Well, what lead did, they added lead, just like we add stuff to gasoline now. We added lead as a lubricant.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But so I started in the business, like really in the business, in 1982, right?
Unleaded was already taken over, right?
Well, we had both. We had leaded / we had unleaded. So I'm working for Oldsmobile GMC dealership here in Ocala. Okay, I worked at the PP Tues BP, which was Tues Golf back in the day, up on the boulevard next to Morrison's, and I didn't do as much there as I did when I went to Lyles. I worked for Gator Lyles at the Oldsmobile GMC dealership. And so I remember in the beginning stages of my career, I remember doing engine work. And man, the inside of the engines were all sludged, and it was like gray. It was like a gray. It was almost like clay. It was just so sludgy. And really what it was a buildup of what happened with the lead in the gas that mixed with the oil, because carburetors cause gasoline to get in the crankcase, and now the gas is mixing with the oil and stuff like that. And then, back in the day, Quaker State,
that's where sludge came from.
That was the sludge. Now, the sludge had this metallic kind of look to it. And so, and all it was a lubricant. That's all it was. Just like in propane, so if your gas grill, there's actually oil inside propane. It's a lubricant. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, and that's 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't know when they started putting lead in the fuel, but it was in the.
I know when they started taking it out.
Right, exactly.
I remember my dad in 1977. My dad said, "Well, if they take it out, how's the motor gonna run good?" Because, like you said, I didn't realize why he was saying that, because it was a lubricant.
It's just all it was a lubricant, and then So now we've gone from just straight gasoline. Unleaded gasoline was just straight up gas, unless the manufacturer or the gas company, Textron or Chevron, put their additives in. And now we have unleaded gas that contains alcohol.
Right.
So now here we are putting stuff back in the gas again, and now we're adding ethanol to the gas, and that's just to reduce the cost
of the
fuel.
Although I did find out yesterday, I did not know this. I came across this stat yesterday. In the Green Mountain River Basin, which is in Colorado, Idaho, Montana, and there's one other state, 80% of the Green River Basin is on federally owned land. The oil deposits underneath the Green River Basin. Yeah. That oil deposit is almost equal to the amount of oil in the rest of the world combined. So we have as much oil in a 4-state area as the rest of the world's oil supply combined. Why is gas $5 a gallon again?
I don't know. I saw this funny sticker on the gas pump the other day.
I did this. By the way, all I know is if he'd have wanted to, and I understand Joe Biden does not control. For anybody who thinks Joe Biden controls the world oil supply and the future of oil where it goes up and down, you're a moron because he does not control that. Okay. But I do know through his executive orders, he cut off 27% of the U.S. supply and 6% of the world supply. He could have, a smart guy, a good guy, somebody, he's getting bad advice from somebody.
Right.
Because if I was coming up to an election year, I'd say, look, in this tough time, I'm going to roll back my executive orders for 18 months. Gas then would go back down to $2.75. Now he can say, see, I helped you out as mayor. Gets to the voting booth. Even if he put his executive orders back into place 18 months from now. Somebody's giving the man bad advice because he could not fix the problem worldwide, but he could help the problem a little bit, not totally. There's no way he can do it totally because it's a world traded commodity, but he could help it a little bit in the United States. But somebody's giving the man bad advice. I firmly believe that somebody ain't telling him that. He's got an environmentalist up there, something in his ear going, nope, if it keeps going up higher, they're going to have to buy electric. They're going to have to buy electric.
And you know, it goes back to it always goes back to follow the money, follow, you know.
Just a math problem.
It's just a math problem.
No matter who, and by the way, if a Republican was in charge, it's just a math problem.
It's just a math problem.
It don't matter who's in charge. Oil doesn't care who's in charge. Right. And by the way, the big business of oil, they don't care either. That's why they give money to both sides. They could care less.
That's right.
They just want somebody that don't get in their way.
They're involved in the electric car as much as anybody else.
Of course they are.
They're the ones that are going to develop this thing.
Yeah, because they know that then you need oil to power the power plants and all. There'll be more. Look, the oil company. It's like the cigarette companies. Cigarette companies hate marijuana. No, they don't. They just weren't going to come out and say it should be legal. Once it's legal, R.J. Reynolds and them, they're ready to start making rolled marijuana cigarettes. They're ready. It's a math problem, Matt. That's all it is.
All
math
it is.
problem. But yeah, so what made then so I had it wrong. The unleaded wasn't what made a car ping and everything, or the leaded was it unleaded that made the car ping, or leaded with the new cars? That
No,
made it
what
ping?
actually made the car ping when we had a pinging issue was in the low 80s.
And that's when a car you cut it off and it still was trying to run.
Try to go backwards and stuff. Yeah. So pinging actually was, you know. We were going through the steps, okay, so I was very fortunate when I got involved in this whole thing. In 1980 and a half is when they came out with the first onboard computer on the car. So by 1982, that was on, buddy. It was a full-blown this
computer
car,
age was here.
It was done. It was now this car is being controlled by the ECMs. The other issue that we started having was, so we had a lot of the pinging was through EGR systems. So an EGR stands for exhaust gas recirculation. So any unburned fuel that was in the exhaust system got put back through the engine to get burned again. So we found out that most of the pinging came from timing and EGR. So we could back the timing up typically 2 degrees. And this is the thing that I don't know if I could get in trouble for saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Statute of limitations probably right.
Okay. So back in the EGR valve days, we found as technicians, if we could eliminate the EGR system, the ping would go away.
Mm-hmm. So you did.
So I did. You know, it was perfect for the little hose that goes into the EGR valve. You know, it worked perfect. A BB.
Oh, well, there you go.
So you put a BB down in the middle of the hose, and you plug it back in. And nobody can see.
Go through. Yeah, right.
There's no. And
kind of like, you know, it fit perfect in a catalytic converter in the 80s. Broomstick. You pop that catalytic converter with that broomstick.
And down the road you go. I remember back in the day when we had to there was like a plug on the bottom of the catalytic converters, and we would pull the plug out, drain all the little beads out of it, mm-hmm. and we had to take the converter off, cut it open, take the beads out, put new beads in it, and reseal it and put it back on people's cars. Mm. I mean, we just the stuff, and then but wait, there's more. So inside these computers are EEPROMs, okay? Right. The original ones, they were non-programmable. So GM would say, okay, this car is running too lean, and that's what's causing the ping. So we're gonna revamp this, remap this PROM, and make the car run richer, which is going to use more emissions now. Now the emission standard that it was set for originally is not. That's not
out the
there.
window.
That's out. That's gone now. And here we're going to send you this prom. You're going to open up the computer, take this prom out, put this prom in, and we'll eliminate the ping.
One of the best things the state of Florida ever eliminated, in my opinion. I know people don't agree with this, but one of the greatest things, that dadgum yearly inspection.
Yeah.
Good night. My dad used to say that was the biggest waste of his time at his service station. He was a licensed inspection station. He said putting that sticker on people's windows is the biggest waste of time he'd ever done as a mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I first started driving, I remember we had inspections here. But they were safety inspections. And then my dad.
Remember, you had to rev your motor, and they checked to see if your blinkers were working and everything.
Yeah.
And then they put that little sticker in the front, bottom of the windshield.
Yep.
And every year you had to get it. If you didn't get it, you get pulled over and get a ticket.
That's right.
Every year. Hey, Matt, tell people where they can find you.
You can find me at 1800 Northwest 10th Street. That's here in Ocala on Highway 27, or you can give me a call at 352-690-1993.
By the way, an update real quick as Matt's leaving. The lawn care company to cut the bushes, they've left. Matt, bring your clippers.
You want me to
next.
bring the hedgers?
Bring the hedgers next.
Well, wait till they're out there. I mean, this is crazy. Y'all can't even see the planes good.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Matt, talk to you next week,
Yes,
pal.
sir.
Monday, actually. Monday. Yeah, I'll stop by Monday.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Monday.
We'll be back at this time out on Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Nearly 40% of law enforcement agencies, including the NYPD and Los Angeles Police Department, failed to report their 2021 crime data to the FBI. That will result in more difficulty tracking crime in America. A string of troubling inflation reports in recent days is likely to lead Federal Reserve officials to consider surprising markets with a larger than expected 0.75 percentage point interest rate increase at their meeting this week. Before officials began their pre-meeting quiet period on June 4th, they had signaled that they were prepared to raise interest rates about a half percentage point, and then again in July. But the market's deteriorating faster than expected. Tougher decisions may come sooner than later. President Clinton's Treasury Secretary, Lawrence Summers, on Bloomberg.
It's pretty clear that peak inflation theory, like transitory inflation theory, is kind of wrong.
USA Radio News.
If you're concerned about the power grid and want to generate your own supply of off-grid electricity, this will be the most important message you'll hear this year. Here's why. We now have a small number of solar generators back in stock. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving backup power when you need it most. And unlike gas generators, solar generators run quietly, emit no dangerous fumes, and produce an endless supply of free electricity from the sun. Whether it's